I want to put you guys on notice on like a handy mental strategy I found has helped me with weight loss. So the main thing when you're losing fat is your, calories in, calories out. You want to be burning more calories than you're actually expending in a given day. So obviously that means you're burning, 2,500 calories. You only eat 2,000 over a certain period of time. That'll kind of level out to about a 500 calorie deficit that day. And 7 of those and you get a pound of fat. And by the way, if anyone is a little bit disheartened at the rate of fat loss there, I think it's cool, get like a stick of butter. This isn't what this video is about, but a pound of fat is like equivalent to like a pound of butter, and actually human fat seems to be more like voluminous, so it like spreads more. You can actually buy online like what a pound of human fat looks like, or what a kilo looks like. And it's pretty sizable. It's kind of like bigger than your hand. And when you look at your body and you think, how many of these can I actually have on me? It's it'll give you a bit of hope that a pound a week is actually pretty significant. And if you lock in with that kind of mindset and are happy enough with that, then great. But one thing I like about it, I like to make it very mathematical in the approach. I like the idea, say, get ChatGPT now to kind of estimate your body fat percentage. So let's say you do a body fat percentage estimate and it comes out at 22% body fat. Let's say you want to get down to 15% body fat. Firstly, ChatGPT, take a few photos of yourself from the front and the back and the side and ask it to estimate your body fat. And it usually does a pretty decent job. Maybe add like a % on or two just to be sure. But you get that done anyway. And then you can ask it, and it's great because it does the calculations. You can say, okay, how much fat then do I need to lose to get to 15% body fat? And it'll literally tell you, it might say based on your weight and your measurements, 8 kilos of fat. And then 8 kilos of fat, so they know a kilo of fat. Some say it's like 7,700 calories worth, others say 7,000. I know people debate about the way calories kind of interact with the body and the various metabolic pathways and such, but basically I like to go with the 7,000 number, and it's kind of broadly seems to be in line with what I've seen results wise. Like if I'm in about 1,000 calorie a day deficit, I think I'm losing like a kilo of fat a week with that. Probably varies a bit person to person, but nonetheless I kind of like the round 7,000 figure. 7,700 figures of kind of bullshitting around, but anyway. So I plug that in, and then I say it takes so 8 kilos of fat, 8 times 7, what's that, 56? Yeah, 56. So that's 56,000 calories I need to basically overspend in order to lose that 8 kilograms worth of fat and be at 15% body fat. And I just found that when there's something a little bit relentless about losing weight. It's something you have to be really mindful of every day. I was never overweight, but I like to eat a lot, especially if I'm stressed out or in an emotional state, and I have a wicked sweet tooth. I love fatty foods, I love dairy and milk and cheeses and creams and all, which is cool, but it means I if I'm not careful, I tend to drift up a little bit fatter than I would like to be, because I go to the gym. Pretty vain in some ways. Generally speaking, particularly if I'm going to be taking my shirt off around people, I want to be looking nice enough. I like around that 15% range. For me, I like being there. But if I let it go, I drift up more towards 20. Anyway, that's beside the point. But basically, I find this sticking with a deficit in blind for however many days, I always find that a bit grueling. There's something a bit relentless about it and tough about it. So what I actually prefer, and this is the mental trick I'm talking about in this video, is, so I have 8 kilograms of fat to lose, so that's 5,600 calories, or rather 56,000 calories. I'll just keep a little note, 56,000, right? And then say one day I lose, or say my maintenance is around 3,000, I eat 2,000 calories. That's a 1,000 calorie deficit. So the next day I make a little note, I subtract 1,000 from the 56,000, and I say basically, 55,000 left to lose. Next day I have a 500 deficit, 40,500 calories left to lose. And the next day I'll do a little calculation. It'll give me, you're now 3% of the way there. I'm putting it in figures like that, and I guess kind of gamifying it like that for some reason it takes a lot of the pressure and guesswork out of this cutting process. Like, it's no longer sticking with something indefinite. It feels like it's like every single day you can see the number on the page go down, you get your little dopamine hit. There's really obvious like stages in sight, like you'll see when exactly you've lost 1 kilo of fat, 2 kilos, and you'll just start sharpening up. And it's just a mental trick that worked for me. I just kind of wanted to share it with people because I never actually seen anyone talk about doing that online. Like, we know basically how many calories you need to basically be in a deficit with in order to achieve a certain amount of fat loss. And then mathematically we can kind of pretty much figure out pretty close to exactly how much fat you need to lose to get to your certain desired body fat percentage from where you are. And the Claudes and ChatGPTs are really handy for running the maths on that and running the estimates as well. I actually got that tip off Kino Body. I saw he said in his experience a really good way to measure body fat can be using the AI apps. You take a few pictures and kind of get it to run it a few times, and then that works out. Although I was actually seeing Greg Doucette was a big believer in the skin calipers method, which I kind of thought that wasn't really, I thought that was way out of favour, but he prefers it to DEXA scans and all. So that would be an interesting one to try as well, I guess, if you want to do that. But anyway, besides the point, I like having a set number of calories I need to lose basically in order to get the achieved result. And what I like about subtracting them daily from the overall calorie bank I'm basically planning on losing is that I get to see the progress each day on the page. Like, a big kind of annoying part with losing weight is you can be losing fat but your weight fluctuates like crazy, and that's why they always say, take weekly averages, don't worry about days. It's kind of a long game, between water weight and everything else. It's just, you can be losing fat and kind of not know, and just to stick with it. But that's kind of all well and good, knowing that, but then actually experiencing that can be kind of stressful, particularly if you're running like a less aggressive calorie deficit. The changes are so slow, you're nearly like for me it's funny, like when I'm running like a 1,000 calorie deficit or thereabouts, it's like really fast, like really fucking fast, like as it should be, I guess you're saying. But if I run a 500 one, it can be like incredibly slow. Like, we're talking like fluctuations where I'll feel a month in, have I even actually lost any weight? And like, yeah, I think basically a lot of it is, I think you kind of can miscalculate a little bit. I'd say I probably overeat what I think I'm eating in a day, many days. And with a 1,000 calorie deficit, the benefit is you can overshoot by 200-300. You're still in a damn good deficit, but you do that with a 500 calorie deficit, you're on a really slow pace. You could be like in a 100 calorie deficit for that day, and you put all that work and stress into fucking counting calories and shit. That's why I kind of more favor the aggressive approach for your average kind of normal person who might not be incredibly locked in with the whole process of weighing every gram of rice and stuff like that. But yeah, I definitely like the approach of having it on the paper because you see a clear end in sight. You can see the progress each day, and you don't need to sweat it then. You kind of put way less emotional emphasis on your kind of day-to-day weight, and you can just focus on the paper. And then of course the day-to-day weight adds up as well, and you're well on your way. Like, you'll have to be half the 56,000 down. You'll check the scales and you'll probably actually be even more weight loss than you would have had expected between the water weight and such. So yeah, that's just a little tip I wanted to share with you guys about losing weight. So maybe that's someone's brain out there that suits, and if so, have at it. Alright, peace.